there's a good chance. I mean, there's only 6 players left. I'm second in chips. I definitely have a good shot. My aggressive style, I think there's a good chance some of the players are going to be a little bit intimidated. So hopefully they will, and I can come out on top.
We are down to our final 4 players now. Daniel Rinser, the Cinderella story of this tournament, has over $700,000 in chips. Now the price of poker has gone up, Vince. It's now a $2,000 ante, and the blinds are $5,000 and $10,000.
Daniel Renser's got 9-6.
And he folds. And here comes Gus. He's going to raise on position, but he has a hand this time, Vince. He's picked up ace-queen on the button.
Andy Block's got an ace and a 4 in his hand. But he knows Gus likes to splash around. So that's why he's even thinking about calling this hand. But Andy's going to let this one go. Mr. Pham, it's up to you, sir. He has an ace-8 in his hand.
Now he is the short stack here. He's seen Gus just continue to raise with nothing all the time. He's got to wonder if his ace-high is the best hand right here.
You know, the crazy thing is because Gus has been playing so ridiculously erratic, these guys are actually thinking to call with much less hands.
Moving in, 49 more.
He's going for it.
Oh, this is huge for Gus. Gus has got a superior hand at this time.
Gus quickly calls him. David the Dragon has moved all in with ace-8.
And he's up.
He's up against ace-queen.
Look at David. The tongue went out when he saw that. Doesn't like his position here.
He's going to have to get very lucky to win this pot.
The Dragon's going to need a miracle. Here we go. Flop comes deuce 3-5. No help to the Dragon. He needs an 8 to beat Gus, or he could tie if a 4 comes off.
A 7 comes off. Oh. David now has to catch an 8 or a 4, or he's out of this tournament.
You're right.
It's a key.
It's over. He's gone. It is over for Mr. Pham. 4th place. Picks up $80,000.
That's back-to-back knockout blows, Vince. Unbelievable.
Gus Hansen has done it. He has eliminated the Dragon. He is out of the tournament. Gus Hansen, a spectacular player. This guy just doesn't play by the book, Mike.
It amazes me where Gus Hansen gets some of these moves. I mean, the way he just took out David Pham. Wow.
Incredible. You know, there really has been a revolution in the poker world, and a lot of that knowledge comes from books. Let's go to Shauna Hyatt with another edition of the WPT Poker Corner. Shauna.
Thanks, guys. If you want to learn to beat the top poker players, you could spend thousands of dollars in tournaments before you even learn the game. Or you could head to your local library, where a world of poker knowledge awaits.
When it comes to poker books, there's one that's so well respected, poker players just call it the Bible.
Doyle Brunson's Super System. It's the best book that has ever been written. Super System.
Doyle Brunson's book. Doyle Brunson's Bible. It's a great book.
Brunson's book may be at the top of most lists, but there are plenty of other choices for both amateurs and pros.
When I started playing poker, which is only 5 years ago, I went through all the books.
I think the best poker book for beginners is a book called Winning Low Limit Hold'em by Lee Jones.
Skolansky has a book called The Theory of Poker, which is a really good book.
For readers, they're going to be like, it's like an instant light bulb. Like, wow, read this and now you're going to know something. All the top books.
But there's only so much you can learn from books. There's no substitute for actual table experience.
Learning at the table is always the best, if you can retain it.
You need the book to kind of get a basic foundation of the game, I think. All you need to do is read one book, put in your time, and learn.
Okay, I know what I'm reading for the next few months. Mike?
We'll be right back with final table action at the Commerce Casino coming up here on the World Poker Tour.
Who jammed the copier?
Yeah.
AbsolutePoker.com. You in?
The big money drama continues from the Commerce Casino here on the World Poker Tour. A poker pro was the latest player sent packing, leaving 3 men to compete for the lion's share of $1.3 million and a seat at the WPT Championship worth millions.
Welcome back to the LA Poker Classic at the Commerce Casino. I'm Mike Sexton along with Vince Van Patten. Let's get back to the action at the table. right here on the World Poker Tour.
Okay, next hand's going to be on Daniel. Now, Daniel's got an interesting hand. He's got a 5-4 suited connector, both diamonds. He's just going to call, actually.
So he just calls.
Now, Mr. No Hand at all has a hand, and he's just calling. Andy's got 4-7. Gus has got a pair of 9s. This guy mixes it up so beautifully. This time he doesn't raise.
Now, that's amazing.
Let's take a look at the flop.
2 9s in first position. He does not raise with it. Now the flop comes 10-6 deuce.
And now Gus is betting with his pair of 9s.
Gus bets 20,000.
And
Gus leads out and bets 20,000 here.
And he threw his hand away. And Daniel, with an inside straight draw, is going to call.
Daniel's got the chips. He knows if he catches a 3, maybe he can bust him. That's what he's dreaming about. Now he catches a 5. He makes a pair of 5s here.
Yes, he does. Gus with the 9s checks it.
Gus checks. Daniel bets
Look at the heart of this Daniel.
Now Daniel bets 20,000. Now this really puts Gus to the test right here. There's an overcard. He understands that he bet the flop. The guy called him. There's also a possible straight on the board.
He does not look intimidated at all by Gus. I mean, he's betting into a WPT champion. He's doing it very nonchalantly.
This is a tough call for Gus right here. Now, we can see his cards. That's the beauty of the World Poker Tour. We know his 2 9s are the best hand, but if you're sitting in that seat and the man called you on the flop when a 10 is out there, an overcard, and then you check and he bets on 4th Street, your 2 9s shrink up a little bit, Vince. And he calls it. What a nice call right here by Gus Hansen.
Excellent call. He had a feeling he's in front, and he is in front at this point. Here's the last card.
Last card, a queen.
Now, the last card off is a queen.
Gus checks. 9s. And it gets checked behind.
Gus turns up 2 9s. They win the pot.
That's a brilliant play by Gus Hansen, calling that hand down.
Daniel says
he's going to whittle away at this, Daniel.
2 9s are going to win this pot.
Nice playing right there by Gus Hansen again.
And here's Sherry.
Okay, the action is on Andy. You have to be impressed with Andy Block, the way he's playing this tournament more confidently and aggressively than he did back at Foxwoods, Vince.
Well, you're right. He does seem to have a lot of confidence. The attorney from Maryland, but he was also a great blackjack player. The guy used to count cards in casinos.
Well, this guy has a bachelor's and master's degree in electrical engineering from MIT, as well as a law degree from Harvard.
Well, look at this. He's got Jack 10 of hearts, and he is raising it up. Daniel's going out with a 10-5. Gus has got 7-8 offsuit.
Now, Andy looks his head down there because his nemesis Gus is back in the pot again.
Well, this time, 7-8 versus Jack 10. We're going to see the flop again.
Flop is Queen, Jack.
Now, flop comes Queen, Jack, 4.
Andy Block's caught a pair of jacks. They check.
And it goes check, check. Now, deuce comes off.
On the turn.
Check.
Gus checks.
And he's got to know he's in front now.
Well, he's got the second pair here. It looks like Andy's going to bet at it. He does. Gus folds his hand, and Andy picks up the pot.
He's got to feel good about this. Finally taking one away from his nemesis, Gus.
You got to admire a guy like Andy. He has all these degrees, yet he prefers to play the poker circuit and become a professional gambler. Vince, what about that?
I don't blame him. I mean, if you could play poker for a living, who wouldn't do it? There's a lot of attorneys out there. How many great poker players are there?
Vince, you mentioned earlier that the Commerce Casino is the poker capital of the world.
That's true. In fact, our host, Shauna Hyatt, spent some time checking out the sights and the sounds of this unique casino. Shauna.
Thanks, guys. The Commerce Casino is known all over the world for one thing and one thing only, poker. So if you want a game, anytime, day or night, you can find it here. So what makes the casino so special?
The special thing about Commerce is that it's in the middle of Los Angeles. People that come and visit this area and they're interested in playing blackjack or poker, they don't need to go to Las Vegas. They can play it right here in the middle of Los Angeles.
What can a poker player expect when they come here to this casino?
They're going to be treated right. Our slogan is LA's friendliest. Every time you come in, it's going to be like going to your local restaurant that you like to visit. We also have a health spa, so they can go in and get a massage and relax, and it's a nice amenity for our customers.
All right, tell me a little bit about the high-stakes gaming that you have at the Commerce.
We have more poker games than any other casino in the world. However much money you would like to gamble, we provide the action. We have a lot more poker than you can find in Las Vegas. So if that's your game, you have to come and see Commerce Casino.
So the next time you get that hankering for a little high-stakes poker action at, say, 3 in the morning, you know where to come. Back to you, Mike and Vince.
So Andy Block puts up a roadblock in front of Gus Hansen.
Yes, but we've seen Gus Hansen come back before, and we want you at home to come back after we pause for just a moment.
You're watching the LA Poker Classic on the World Poker Tour.
Watching the World Poker Tour. This week, we're at the Commerce Casino for the LA Poker Classic, where a former lawyer is hoping to make his case for victory. Andy Block knows he'll eventually have to deal with past WPT winner Gus Hansen. But what about the X Factor? Amateur Daniel Renzer is showing he belongs at the final table. The stakes are high. First prize today is more than $500,000. So every hand is crucial. Now, back to the action with Mike Sexton and Vince Van Patten.
Okay, Andy's the first to act here.
Well, this time he's got Jack 5, Jacks, and 5s, and he's going out. Daniel's got a 10-queen offsuit, and he's going to raise it.
Daniel makes it 45,000.
And he's made a big bet here, 45,000. And now Gus with an ace-3 offsuit, not the biggest of hands.
With an ace and a 3. Now, this is unorthodox poker. This would not be in the books, of course. But we've seen it time and time again. This World Poker Tour champion plays these kind of hands, raises with these hands, and look at this. He's doing it again. He's going to call it.
So right now we have 100,000 in the pot. We're going to have a flop here.
Let's see who gets lucky.
Gus has ace-3. Daniel has queen 10. And here comes a flop. It comes an ace.
Oh, yeah.
Ace-7-4. Daniel quickly comes in there and bets 40,000.
He's trying to steal this pot, but Gus has got a big hand. He's got the aces. Look at him checking it.
But he has a very weak kicker.
That's the second card.
The 3 is not a good card.